Israel struck a hospital in northern Gaza, forcing patients to evacuate as attacks intensified across the Strip.
U.S. President Donald Trump's administration has announced that smartphones and computers have been excluded from global reciprocal tariffs.
Russia and Ukraine have traded accusations of striking energy sites despite a U.S.-brokered limited truce in place as foreign ministers spoke at the Antalya Diplomacy Forum.
Israel struck a hospital in northern Gaza after forcing patients to evacuate, as attacks intensify across the Strip. One patient died during the evacuation of the Al-Ali hospital in Gaza City because medical staffs were unable to provide urgent care following the pre-dawn strike. The health facility's director said they were warned of the attack before it was struck. Local health authorities report that the strike destroyed the ward for outpatients and laboratories and damaged the emergency ward. Israel has carried out an open campaign on hospitals in the Gaza Strip, while accusing Hamas of using them as cover for its fighters. The attack came hours after the Israeli defense minister said military activity would rapidly expand across Gaza and that people would need to evacuate from fighting zones.
U.S. President Donald Trump's administration has announced that smartphones and computers have been excluded from Trump's global reciprocal tariffs. The exemption also applies to the 145% tariffs imposed on Chinese imports and includes other electronic devices and components, including semiconductors, solar cells, and memory cards. This was shared in a notice by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The tariffs would have a major impact on American tech giants like Apple, which has 90% of its iPhone production and assembly based in China. The Trump administration has said that the goal of their tariffs is to encourage more domestic manufacturing. But the exemptions seem to acknowledge that the current electronics supply chain is virtually all in Asia, and it will be challenging to shift that to the U.S.
This time when President Trump suggested
Russia and Ukraine's foreign ministers traded blows, accusing each other's countries of violating a U.S.-brokered limited ceasefire. Sergei Lavrov and his Ukrainian counterpart Andrei Sybiha have both accused each other of targeting energy sites in recent weeks. The blows were traded as the two top diplomats spoke at separate panels at the Antalya Diplomacy Forum in Turkey. Lavrov says that the Kremlin has stuck to its word and not targeted any Ukrainian energy facilities since the 18th of March, when Putin agreed to a partial truce in a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump. He added that Ukraine have attacked Russian energy infrastructure almost daily, noting that Moscow had compiled a list of targeted sites and shared it with the U.S., the UN, and Turkey. Sybiha contested Lavrov's claims and accused Moscow of not being serious about peace. The Ukrainian top diplomat said that in the past few weeks, Russia had launched almost 70 missiles, over 2,000 drones, and 6,000 guided bombs targeting mostly civilian areas. Tens of thousands of conservative Poles traveled from all over the country to participate in a rally in Warsaw. The rally was held to commemorate the millennium anniversary of the coronation of the country's first king. They danced the Polonaise in historic costumes, sang the national anthem, and chanted slogans in support of a conservative candidate running in next month's presidential election. The march was supported by the Law and Justice Party, whose candidate Karol Nawrocki is up against liberal candidate Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski. Organizers say 100,000 people participated in the rally, while City Hall, run by Trzaskowski, places attendance at 20,000. The rally comes as the Law and Justice Party look to drum up support for Nawrocki, who's been trailing behind in the polls. Frontrunner Trzaskowski has led the polls so far, projected to win around 30% of the vote, while Nawrocki is at just over 20%. The presidential election is set to take place on the 18th of May. If no candidate surpasses the required 50% threshold, a runoff is scheduled a fortnight later between the top two candidates.